or not Seth, Abraham, is it? Who was the one that, was it, you know what I'm talking about, Gail? The channeled text? Esther
Mm-mm.
Hicks, Esther Hicks, Esther and Jerry Hicks. Anyways, they
Yeah,
channeled.
yeah, Esther and Jerry Hicks. Abraham. What
Oh,
about
Abraham, that's right. Okay.
Abraham?
There's another author who channels somebody named Seth, and I think her name is Jane.
I don't know Seth. Yeah, I'm not sure about that one.
Yeah. So channeling, I've always thought about as a beautiful way to sort of get out of the way of yourself and just let the energy flow. Like most of astrology for me is channeled. It
And it's
comes.
cool to create conversations too, right? So it's like I love that about Abraham, how she has people get up on stage and she lets them ask questions and she goes through breakthroughs with people.
Yeah.
And I've also experienced coaching like that before, actually. I don't know if Madison's on the call, so I don't think she is, but I just think it's so powerful to open that container up for everyone to experience consciousness, right? Because even if it's someone else sharing something with you, like your soul kind of signed up for the contract of hearing what they have to say, and that's kind of cool, especially when you're listening to Abraham talk, because it's magical.
Yeah. And one of the things that I love about Abraham is it's almost as if the moment you are reading the channeled words from Abraham, that Abraham is there sitting with you. It really does feel like an alive consciousness. And I'm not just saying that. Like it actually is a presence that can be felt and tuned into and tapped into when you read these channeled texts. And Paul Selig is another one who channels his guides. Paul Selig just has a book called I Am the Word. But he also has another one called The Book of Mastery, which I have right over here. It's one of those books that it comes in like a trilogy. And there it is. And essentially, there's like two other ones. I actually haven't gotten to them yet because this one is so powerful that I stopped reading a quarter way in because it was transforming me so much. Sometimes books do that. Do you ever have that, Gil, where you're reading a book and you're like, this is too powerful for
Leap
right
of Perception, Quantum Leap, the two books you gave me that I was like, how do I integrate any of this knowledge into my day-to-day life? And let me tell you, I'm still working on it. And I've been reading that book. I've read Leap of Perception so many times, and I just got Frequency, Penny Pierce's other book, on my
now?
audio tape. It's just because they apply such a scientific Western mind to this concept of consciousness. And it takes it from a like scientific perspective while also being super spiritual at the same time. And it's just this amazing combination that
Yeah.
anyone can relate to, because it uses anyone from the Western world can relate to, who uses their mind or likes to listen to people who are good at using their mind, because we're all so stuck in the mind in the Western world. Eastern approach to all this is just go quiet. Western approach is let's explore, like this is fun, life is playful, and we need to find ways to understand that it's just our playground out there, and like we're all here to create that playground together and find ways to live and teach each other how to live, amplifying each other and in alignment with one another. And
Yeah. And
it's a
that's
magical time.
just so you all know, that's Penny Pierce, Penney Pierce. She's a metaphysical, intuitive, clairvoyant author, kind of brilliant mind who I love. Like, I discovered her book in March of 2018, read it 4 times immediately in a row, like right away, and thought the same thing Gil did, which is how do I integrate this? Because she's talking about spherical holographic perception. She goes into geometries of perception, linear, spherical, holographic, like all those things. And she also articulates and proposes a new way, a new mode for vision that is archetypal, and it's deep and it's invisible and it's felt and it's cosmic, and you have to really download that book to understand the world that we're living in.
Yeah, she's like, we're literally transitioning away from the information age, which we've all just been inundated with information. We have endless information at our fingertips. We have endless possibilities around us in every direction. Everything's complicated. There's so much out there. But what we're transitioning into is, because of the overload, the stimulus overload, we're like, okay, I'm going to drop into my intuition. I'm going to drop into what feels good in my body. I'm going to enjoy this new age of intuition. So she's calling it the information age, transitioning into the intuition age. And I just resonate with that. So
Oscar has a question about Scorpio. Go ahead, Oscar. Oscar, you can unmute yourself if you want. There you are. Hi. Oh, I think you have to unmute. Yeah, go ahead. Click unmute. There you go. Hi.
Hi everyone. Hi, Abigail. I studied the relationship between. First of all, thank you for your meeting. I've never stepped into an astrological community before. I study the relationship between art and astrology. I classify artists under.
wow.
It's the dictionary, and you are Scorpio. Can I ask you one thing? Many art and many people that I met, the like typical Scorpio, they tend to love the color black. And from my understanding, the deepest logic for Scorpio is control. I'm not sure if it
Totally resonate.
Yeah. Why black color is normally their favorite? Somehow even red or black. Does it apply to you at all?
Wow, it's so interesting because when you said black, my phone went black. Like my phone light was on, and when you said black, it went black. And the other day, someone pointed out at my job that I was wearing black for the first time in a while. He's like, "You don't wear black. You actually are very sparkly and light." Wow.
Yeah. Something like this.
Yeah.
People like all these two artists, they are Scorpios. So why is the color black normally applies to Scorpio? Is it somehow you're hidden, then you are in control, or black signifies power or something?
Yeah, like black overrides all the other colors.
Right. Black is a void. Yeah.
And it ends up emptying out into everything at the same time. So it's like this transition point. I feel like I explore the dark and the light simultaneously, and it's pretty fucking crazy lately what I'm experiencing from what I've been creating, like the darkness I've been creating for myself, and then the lightness I create to contrast it in the same day, in the same hour, sometimes in the same moment, like this level of like fear and demise almost of like civilization and what's happening, and then this level of like clarity and alignment. And I do feel like black does signify like covering controlling everything, and then like dropping into surrender and like melting into one.
I don't really follow. So blackness somehow relates to control.
Yes.
Maybe I can ask you later. The other thing is, in films, normally like Scorpio screenwriter or director, they love to put themselves into this catastrophic situations. Like normally they are in this crisis, like
what type of situations?
Let me show you the photos. Normally it's catastrophe where they need to survive, and like this sort of thing, like Prison Break or Gone with the Wind, or but is it because that like all these films like Independent Day, The Day After Tomorrow, or 2012, like I'm wondering why. Is it because that in this catastrophic environment that your guys' power to control and survive excels or something? What does like catastrophic, like the world is going to end?
Yeah, I totally feel that. Dylan, can you share something? So is Scorpio my sun sign?
Yeah.
Okay, my rising is Pisces. And so I feel like, and I also heard that when you're going through your Saturn return, you're doing this major transition away from your sun sign and then into your rising. Is that right, Dylan?
Saturn return is gonna be when Saturn makes its way around the zodiac wheel back to the place where it was located at the time of your birth.
But at some point around the 20-something year of age, isn't your rising sign supposedly take into the driver's seat?
It kicks into full gear. You could say that, yeah.
Oh, someone had told me that recently, and it really resonated with me because I feel like, to answer your question, yes, my Scorpio side likes things to be chaotic to create control and craves that chaos to explore how to be in like a deeper sense of control, like control of the moment, control of the people, able to create spaces where people can do certain things, like kind of like influence people in that way. And I feel like I had to quit my job. I had to step away from like all of my identity because of that. It was like, it was calling, like the darkness is calling a little bit. But at the same time, like my experience in Scorpio is I've never I've always been and acted very much in alignment to what I feel is right. And I've always struggled in our society because when I would have to be successful at work, you know, or I'd have to listen to a client, I wouldn't necessarily be doing what I felt was right. Actually, I knew it was wrong, but I had to do it anyway. And I know Dylan's going through something similar right now with his job, and just feeling that level of I'm doing things that are like not conscious, that are not I'm not aware of, because I feel like things, I need to have that control. And what I'm going through right now is like, I just like let go of all of that. And it's been very disorienting to be a Scorpio my whole life. And now to be shifting into perhaps a Pisces, I don't know what I'm shifting into, but it's certainly a different form. And through Black, I do believe like the light that's where the light is generated too, right? It's like this dichotomy.
It's a really good question, Oscar, to ask, because with a black hole, you have to think about how nothing goes in, nothing comes out. Like, I mean, it's just kind of a null and void. It's a complete vortex. So when you talk
get
about
transmuted at the Black areas.
That's exactly the word that I was looking for, is transmutation. So transmutation is when you take a frequency in one situation and you shift it and you bring it to a higher or different or modified frequency, and you work with it. You work with the energy in real time.
Right.
So to have a blackness that is happening is to have a complete void situation that is a birthplace for all creation. And control, because we couldn't control as well, because as soon as you create something, you want to control it.
Okay.
Oh, hi, dog. Is that one of your dogs?
Cat.
Oh, cat? I thought you, okay. Do you have dogs too, or just cats?
I have many dogs.
Yeah,
okay.
Oscar saves.
With your topics.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. No, I think it's a really good question to ask about blackness and darkness and control in Scorpio. Yeah.
So I just want to, I know we've gone way over at this point, and I actually do have plans tonight. So I unfortunately have a hard stop now. But it's been so amazing getting to know you, Oscar. I know Dylan's tried to connect us before, and I'm interested in this intersection you work in, and I've never thought of light and darkness this way, so it's interesting. I appreciate it with what's coming up in my life currently. Amanda, thanks for still being on. Like, amazing. I'm glad you found this valuable. We love you.
We love you. So, yeah, this is amazing, you guys. This is the after hours, and so thank you for being here.
Love you too.
Love you. Yay! Okay, all right, you guys. We'll be uploading this to YouTube. We'll send out a link if you guys would like, so that you can look at it for archive purposes. But obviously, this part wasn't recorded, but the first part was, so we can do it from there.
I also see something saying recording now in the corner, so like maybe I will have this. We'll see. Okay, I love you.
All right, love you guys. Bye.